It's Tyler Daniel of Nowhere North, and welcome to our Behind the Song series. So Run is our debut single, and the story behind the recording process of that is it originally started off as kind of a personal music project I wanted to do. At the top of my bucket list was to record in a legit actual recording studio. It's something I've always wanted to do, being a writer my whole life, and finally one year my wife said, "For your birthday, we can get you into the studio." Going into it for the first time, I wanted to do it right, and I know that I wouldn't be able to do it alone. So I reached out to a really good friend of mine, Jesse. Me and him played in several bands in high school, uh, you know, gigs and stuff. And I reached out to him and asked if he wanted to drum on the track, and he said yes. And I reached out to Kirsten, my sister, and Jordan, my brother-in-law, to see if they would also want to be on the track and help me out, and they also said yes. And just it was awesome going forward as a group in the studio. Made it special being around the people that I really cared about, and they came with some additional challenges just because I've never written music collaboratively. It's always been just me and my acoustic guitar, and I write it that way. And so we get into the studio, and it turns into a whole new situation because I'm having to write around all these new parts, all these moving pieces, and because of that, going in there, I had my acoustic part, which is the main part, and I had the vocals, but that was it. Everything else, I would say about 75% of that track is pretty much improvised in the studio, which is very unconventional. Usually an artist will go into the studio 100% prepared, and we had no idea what to expect with it, especially with the way it was written. So we learned a lot that I'm excited to apply to future tracks like the ones we're releasing this year. But going into it just completely new, about 75% of what you hear of Run is improvised in the studio while we were recording.